Friday, November 29th, 2019, and I'm doing an Akashic reading today for Dorota Sekulska.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna... Only the highest vibrations of love and light can be in the space, and all objects in the space, for the highest good of Dorota Sekulska and myself for this reading today. All other energies must leave now. I call in the highest level of the divine that knows that love is the power and the truth from which we read, the highest level guides and angels of Dorota Sekulska and myself to help us with this reading. Archangel Michael, hold this space for us, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth, as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. O Holy Spirit of God, help me to know Dorota Sekulska in the light of the Akashic records, to see Dorota Sekulska through the eyes of the Lords of the Records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the Master's teachers and loved ones have for Dorota Sekulska. Okay, the records are now open. My husband's making a lot of noise upstairs, so let me shut the door. Okay, I'm going to just do that real quick. Oh, he's banging around doing something.
Good that you didn't.
Last time it was the cat. So,
the good things you didn't say, let me shut him, so.
Last time it was the cat, now it's my husband. So,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Husband is easier to control. The cat.
Yeah,
I'd say
the
the
cat's
opposite.
probably easier. Yeah.
Really?
Well, anyway, I think we got into a little bit of your origin, when I did, Paulina's reading.
Mm-hmm.
Paulina's was, because your records is intertwined with hers, so it was real easy to access. So you're from the same planet she's from, which is Avalon. Okay. You both started off as part of the same oversoul. Okay, so there's an oversoul that's separated from Source. Okay, so it's part of that original Elohim group. So when you both decided to incarnate into physical form, you were the expression of the same oversoul. Mm-hmm. It was just, a splitting of different personalities, was basically what it was. So you both incarnated as sisters. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were not, so it wasn't like a mother-daughter thing. It was, you had Lyran parents, but you incarnated as sisters. You were the older sister. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which I think, it doesn't really, I don't think it really designates anything, except for some reason your soul chose to incarnate first. But I think both you and Paulina are equally ancient souls. Okay, so it's not like one soul's older than the other. I think you're both equally ancient. But what I'm seeing with you is, it was interesting because you were the older daughter, but Paulina, for some reason, was shuffled over to work with the council. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, there's a cute little doggy in the back there. Is that Snow?
No, nope. Snow is, this is Bambi.
That's Bambi. Hi, Bambi.
This is our reptilian dog.
Okay, gotcha, okay.
That's Snow.
There's Snow.
And
Okay, I couldn't see Snow last time.
Yeah,
so.
that's Snow.
Yeah, I can see why he's called Snow.
Okay,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's a cute. Is it a poodle or?
Yeah, this is terrier right here, Maui. Okay.
Okay.
So we have 3 of them.
You got 3. Okay, very cool. They're all adorable. So, and I'm sure they all got different personalities, and they're delightful in their own unique little ways. But it's interesting because I think as far as your role in Lyra, you didn't do any of the council work. You had no interest in it. Your interest was in healing. Okay, so I think you probably grew some herbs and flowers and created different tinctures, healing tinctures, but I don't see where you didn't have like the leadership roles that Paulina had. Okay, because I don't think that was your interest. I mean, I think it's not that you don't have leadership qualities. I think you did, but I just think you kind of walked away from it. And it was funny because you were the one that ended up surviving the wars, and Paulina didn't. Okay, so when the wars came around, Paulina was so busy trying to save everybody that she couldn't save herself. But you were the first person she saved. You were the first person that she dragged on board, the ship. And I think there's been a level of guilt maybe about that. Maybe you don't feel that in this life, but in previous lifetimes, I think there was this feeling of, wow, my sister sacrificed herself so I could survive. And I think in this lifetime you chose to be her mother because it was an opportunity for you to repay her. Okay, I think you wanted to support her and to give her the nurturing that she needed in this lifetime that you weren't able to do in the previous lifetimes. Okay. Now, you two have also had lifetimes together in the Pleiades. I think you reconnected in the Pleiades. We talked about that. But I think when you left Avalon, okay, in the starship, you cried because you didn't know what happened to Paulina. She just never showed up. She said, "Oh, I'll meet you back here. No worries. I just need to go grab some people," and she never returned. Okay, so it was really heartbreaking and sad. It was, and a lot of us had those experiences where we lost family members, and we didn't know what happened to them. We don't even know if they were alive, if they survived, what happened to them. I think after you left, you kind of had a sinking feeling that she wasn't able to make it back. So it was, but there was always that kind of nagging feeling of, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if she's alive. But I think once you arrived in the Pleiades, you figured that she didn't survive. It was just kind of obvious at that point. But so you actually been in the Pleiades longer than Paulina. Paulina spent quite a bit of time in Arcturus. She was in one of the crystal temples being healed. Okay. While she was in that kind of inanimate suspension for a while, I think you kind of had to take over the leadership role from Paulina because Paulina was no longer around. So when you arrived in Taigeta, okay, because that's where you ended up, it was you and I think a few of the other members on board the ship decided that you were going to establish a new civilization in Taigeta, that you were going to disconnect from any prior connections to Lyra, And that was a very painful decision. Okay, it wasn't a decision that was made lightly. Okay, so I think you decided that, you know what, we need to have a new identity. We're, you know, we're no longer Lyrans. You know, we no longer live in Lyra. We live in the Pleiades, and we're going to create a new civilization. And part of that was for survival. Okay, because I think if you would have been continued to associate with Lyra, the Draconians would have seeked you out. So it's almost like you had to pretend to be. I mean, I think they kind of knew. You know, it was like, okay, you got a new race that showed up in the Pleiades, but the Pleiades was located so far away. It was 500 light years away. So it was located so far away that the Draconians weren't going to go out of their way to seek out Pleiadians. Okay, so you guys, I think, created this new civilization. So you had, I would say, there was quite a bit of decision making that was made, and you were part of that process. Okay. I think after the initial, it was kind of like the initial, you know, new templates were created for the new Taigetan civilization. You decided that you wanted to go back to healing. Okay. So you ended up, I think, going to various. I think you spent some time in Merope, okay, because you were learning healing there. And I think later on, you know, you and Paulina ended up, you know, setting up a spiritual retreat center in Pleoni. So it was kind of like the accumulation of all the work that you had been doing so far. And I think basically what happened, it's interesting that healing keeps coming up for you, because I'm seeing that even when Taigeta became the Starfleet command, you know, for the Pleiadians, you were always a medical officer. Okay, so you would be stationed on board these ships. And I kind of see that you're more of a contract worker, so you weren't like part of the academy, or you weren't part of the Galactic Federation, but you were more like a contract worker. Like when they needed somebody to do the medical work, they would hire you and take you on board, you know, a ship, and then you go on some mission with them. Okay. But then when you come back, you know, you would continue your regular practice. Okay. Now, do you do any kind of healing work in this life? I'm just curious.
I am facialist. I do skincare, but I always knew that my touch is very different. And the last 5 years, something happened to me, Debbie. I see energy, I feel vibration, my whole body vibrating. I literally, in the middle of the night one time, I hear the voice, go and sit and meditate, and I meditate for 4 hours straight. Before I cannot even sit, because my back hurt, my leg fell asleep, my mind was going crazy. And that night, literally, that's what happened. I become activated, and since then I cannot stop. I'm leaving my body. I feel like I'm a water in the water. And then start, at about 2 years ago, very strong, the light language started coming. And I love music, but I never was able to sing a note. And lately something happened with my vocal. Like I remember I was a singer. I was using a sound. And now I feel completely lost, because as a facialist, it's a huge responsibility, you understand? And in the same time, I feel like the healing, and I never go to school, I never decide to be healer, I never really learn anything, it's just completely intuitively it's coming. And it's coming so strong that I even try not to do it, and I cannot. As soon as I put my hands on somebody, I feel my hands vibrating and, feel this. So yes, the healing, it's something that is in me, I know that. And it's very strong, and I didn't realize that it's different because, I never was in the spiritual community, even I was always curious, because they scare me in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean some of the metaphysical people can be pretty intense.
Intense and a very huge ego and particular particular
exactly.
fashion and everything. If you're not one of them, you kind of. But I thought like, okay, I discovered this in me. I was curious. I trying to connect with them, and I realized that I know more than they know, which.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's always the way it is.
Yeah, it surprised me. I was like, oh, I thought they're gonna teach me something, and I feel like. No, actually. So yeah, answering.
Well, both you and Paulina are master souls. I mean, you're part of the original Elohim group, so of course you know more than those people. Okay, I mean because you're ancient souls. You've been doing this for a long time, and the healer component with you came through very strong, very strong, much stronger with you than with Paulina. Okay, and I think it's because that's what you did for lifetimes. Now it's interesting you do what you're like an esthetician or what. Okay, so you're an esthetician. In a way, that's kind of healing because you're making people's faces, more healthy, and so it's not. I mean, it's more like a 3D level, but I see you actually kind of evolving in the work that you're doing. So I think you might still do some of the esthetician type of work because, obviously that brings you money, but I think you're going to integrate some of this more spiritual
It's
work.
happening already, yeah. I know that it's happening.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't think you need massive amounts of training, honestly.
I don't feel this way right now, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think you already know what to do, okay? And I mean, if you felt like it, you could go, okay, I can maybe take some Reiki classes or take a course in quantum touch, if you felt like you wanted to have a certificate. But honestly, I don't really think you need it. I think you already know what to do.
Yeah, that's how I feel, actually. And it doesn't come from my ego. It's just actually, I feel like I say, when I have experience with healers, I realize that I know what they're doing, yeah. It's very interesting.
And I think you definitely know what you're doing. It's just for some reason right now, you're born a year after me. I was born in '62. So I think for you and me, maybe it took us longer to awaken, but once we awaken, it's like boom. It's like all the gifts come online. I mean, it's all of it. So I think you're going to be doing some really great healing work even in this life. Okay,
I feel this way. Yeah, it's calling me.
Yeah, I see that too, and I'm just seeing lifetimes where even back in Lyra, that's what you did. You were growing plants. You're growing herbs, combining floral essences to create healing.
First time I take magic mushroom. This was about 5-6 years ago. And I was in the nature, and I look around and I was crying. I said, how come I forgot this? Every single plant was talking to me. It was just literally like completely, I was back. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, that's you. If you were Lyran, you had a very deep connection with plants. I think you more so than Paulina. Okay, I think Paulina did too, but I think you even more so because that was the work that you did. You were completely connected with them. You knew exactly which plant does what, okay, or what it can cure. I think you're going to rediscover that even now, okay, where it's going to be like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, it's like, why am I even taking this course? I already know this stuff. I mean, it's kind of like. But I know what you mean about the spiritual community. There is a lot of ego out there, and I ran across that myself, where because I wasn't a big name, people didn't want to talk to me, that sort of thing, which I think is kind of stupid, but, because we're all supposed to be one, but there's still a lot of ego, a lot of 3D aspects, but, but I think you and I are both, mature enough to know where that comes from. So we're just like, don't want to even participate with that.
Yeah.
Not our thing, But with you, I think Your path was a little different from Paulina's initially, but I think you two eventually came back together. So Paulina reincarnated into Taigeta because she was trying to rejoin her soul family, and so you two reconnected in Taigeta, and she did her ambassadorial work, you did your healing work. Sometimes you'd be on missions together, other times you weren't, but it was, I think, a lot of comfort to finally reconnect with her. It was kind of like, and I think even when we're when we're incarnated in these higher dimensions, we probably get more information about our loved ones, and we have that telepathic communication with them. So I think you knew that she was in good hands. Okay, after that initial trauma, and after you arrived in the Pleiades, you knew that the Arcturians are taking care of her. We're going to reconnect when the time is right, and that's exactly what happened. I want to look at Pleoni because I think that was probably just as impactful for you as it was for Paulina. Pleoni is an interesting star system. Okay, it's not one that a lot of people know about, but it's actually the star system that Mother Mary originated from. Okay, and so it carries a lot of divine feminine energy. Okay. I think in some ways Paulina is more divine masculine energy and you're more divine feminine. Okay, but you two make a good team. Okay, because she's got that Capricorn practicality. Okay, she's got that common sense, and I think you have that nurturing motherly quality that makes people want to come to you, to work with you. Okay, I don't know how you are as a esthetician, but I can only imagine you're probably a fantastic esthetician because I think you really care about your clients. Okay, so you're not in it just for it's an easy way to make money or whatever. I mean, I think you really care about your clients.
I am a giver in this case. Yeah. I do.
And I think you try to do the best thing you can for them. So it's not like you're skimping out on treatments or products or anything like that. I think you really do try to do. And I imagine that's probably why. So do you have your business in Santa Monica? I take it. Or, yeah. Okay. And it's been. How long have you had your business? I'm just curious.
Paulina is 33. She was 3 years old when I started working, so 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been in business for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. Especially in California. There's a lot of competition there. So
never advertise. I don't exist on Yelp. I don't have a website. I don't have a brochure. I don't have anything. I am one of the weirdos.
You're totally low tech. That's funny.
I'm completely people laughing and say, "How do you?" I don't even know how much money I make, to be honest. So it's like,
wow. Well, you must be doing okay because you're still in business.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something. It's like I feel like I'm completely on the two worlds right now. Like one of my feet is still in the 3D worlds and doing my stuff, and the other I completely lost interest in that. I want to do new things. I feel like new life is coming to me. I'm kind of waiting for right moment because for 5 years I trying to get out from Los Angeles, and for 5 years I feel like I'm still there, and just don't understand, like what holding me right now. So.
Yeah, Los Angeles is a hard place to be. It's a lot of dense energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And I always know this. This is not. I know how to maneuver through.
Yeah, no, and it's not that you don't know how to maneuver, but I think because you're getting more, you're upgrading. So your vibration is upgrading. I think you're feeling like now that you're not a vibrational match for the area.
Yeah, I feel like like today I say I wish I can come here and never go back. You know, like I don't feel I have a comfortable life there, but I don't feel connected anymore.
Okay, so so if you were to move, you would completely change everything.
Yeah.
So you would just start a whole new idea. So it's kind of like you going from Lyra to the Pleiades, where you just created this whole new identity. Okay, that's what you'll be doing basically.
Yeah.
So you'll be going from being an esthetician to a healer basically. Okay, which is I think you can do it. I mean. I don't see why you could. I mean, I think anything's possible nowadays. I think it's going to be up to you to choose where. I think if I had to choose between the three, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Hawaii's going to be difficult. Okay, just because breaking into that culture is very difficult. Arizona wouldn't be a bad choice. That would be Colorado.
Cold.
You guys don't like Colorado? Too cold?
No. You said Pleiadians have low body temperature. I think that might
Yeah, too cold. Okay, I get it. Yeah. That's why we have a place in Nicaragua, because we like to get out of the cold too. So
to warm up a little bit, yeah.
No, we're going to try.
Then we need to stick with the southern states.
Yeah.
So New Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah.
I think those are the two.
I think it's gonna happen in the right time. I feel it.
Yeah, I do too.
It's too many things happening to me and to Paulina, especially the last few years, that I know that there is a reason for that. You know.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I think you're gonna move to Las Vegas and stay with Paulina for a while, and I think you two are gonna make a decision together.
Yeah, that's the most possible right now and logic move. I have a feeling.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. As far as I think most of your lifetimes were in the Pleiades. You know, I think you had incarnations in Taygeta. You spent quite a bit of time in Merope training. You know, doing that. You know, advanced healing training. Okay, so I think you're very familiar with Merope, which I think led you to decide. It was kind of like you and Paulina did the same thing back then that you're doing now. Like you both decided, you know what, we're kind of done with our life, you know, the way we're doing it right now, and we're going to make this big change. Okay? And so in that lifetime, I think you were doing the medical officer thing with the Galactic Federation. It was getting old. Paulina was doing her ambassadorial work. That was getting old. And you two decided, you know what, let's just chuck it all and move to Pleoni and start a spiritual center. Which is what you did. And it was this cute little property, you know, it was like a little piece of land, you know, you guys built on it. It was precious, you know, it was in a wooded area. I think that was the happiest both of you were. So when you both decided that, you know, okay, we're going to go ahead and volunteer for this Earth project. I don't know why you guys volunteered, but
still don't know why.
I mean, because I wouldn't have left Pleoni, but
we must be very bored or something.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, you know, what am I doing here as well? Okay, because you know, I could be back in Arcturus. Okay, so you know, so what am I doing here? Okay, because I'm here on a mission, just like you guys are. Okay, so we're all on a mission. We're all here to help Earth ascend. Okay, or to help people heal. You know, to help this planet get to the fifth dimension. But I think when you guys decided that you were going to start incarnating on Earth, I think it was an agreement that during your last life here on Earth, which will be this life, okay?
Mhm.
So this life will be the last life you'll have here.
Mhm.
You are going to recreate Pleoni on Earth. And how you're going to do that is you're going to move to some sacred space and create a healing center there.
Mhm.
And I see that's going to be what you guys are going to end up doing. You're going to do your healing work. Paulina's going to do some healing work. She's going to do some, the business end of it too. But you guys are just going to recreate what you had in Pleoni here.
I think we have a name for the business too already.
You do? What is it?
Pleoni.
Pleoni. There you go. I think that's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But after we're leaving,
Paulina
right?
told me you guys have a very close family connection with Mother Mary.
I have a over 300 years old icon of Black Madonna, which is in my family, and right now it's ended up in my room. And I was very anti-religious. I grew up in Poland. I hate religious. And I remember being a kid laying down in the bed in the middle of the night, and I see the energy moving, but I was scared. So I was scared of that, nobody explained it to me. And now it's in my bedroom, and then I look at in my house, and I have so many figurines of Mother Mary. I didn't even know how they end up in my house, because I said, I never was religious. I look at them more like a piece of art, and something like tacky but cute, and it was really like I feel the connection. I feel presence of Mother Mary. Mm-hmm.
That's because you guys knew her in Pleoni.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a soul sister.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a family connection than a religious thing.
Yeah, no, I
you know what I'm
understand.
saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not like, she's this icon that you worship. It's not like that. It's more like you feel this respect and reverence because she's a dear family member that you love.
Yeah, I feel this way. And the other one is Melchizedek with me too.
Yeah. It's also a family connection there.
After this life.
Melchizedek is connected with the Elohim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and that's the original group that you and Paulina came from.
Who was our parents on
Lyra.
Lyra? Like
What's that?
Who was our parents in Lyra?
It was, I think they were Elohim.
Mm.
I think you're the daughters of the Elohim.
That's a big responsibility.
It is. I know. I agree. That's why I wanted you to connect with that girl Lenora, or that lady Lenora.
Yeah, I'm gonna message her.
I think you guys will have a lot in common. In more ways than one. Because she's also a big light language person.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's and she's
Well, it's so, it's like 2 nights ago, I have first time, Paulina, send her to Lyra, back. I have a very interesting experience. I have a literally spirit coming to my body, and the voice was man voice, and it was crying, singing, all the movements, but it was more like a Native American, I mean, you know what I'm saying. But I never have that kind of experience, that strong and powerful. And it takes me really like whole day to go back to my body. I was hurting all day long yesterday because the energy that came through me was so big, my body was too fragile for it. And
It was powerful.
it was it was very powerful, and we sing together, and I realized that that's what we used to do, and I wasn't afraid of my own voice, and then after that, that's what happened. So yeah,
I think that's kind of the journey that you and Paulina are going to share together, is reconnecting with the light language.
Yeah, it feels this
That's
way.
going to be huge for both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels this way really.
And
Yeah.
after this life, we're not going to be on Earth, right?
No.
Yeah, I think this is the last life for both of you.
Okay. And then do we get?
And then I'll see you guys in Lyra.
Good.
Yeah, you
Are we
said we're
work
gonna
there
go
too?
rebuild Lyra. Is that the next mission?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that sounds good.
And I'll probably be there.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
even though it's like, okay, another project, okay, I'll be there.
Well.
Okay. So you'll see me again.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll be like, oh, there's my Lyran sisters. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's, I think this is going to be a last life for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Paulina, even though you're a second wave volunteer, this is your last life too. I think you've had enough of Earth.
Yeah.
Your contract is finished.
Like I'm like trying to recreate Lyra in my apartment.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
It feels. Oh, yeah, that's one part.
No, I love all the lights.
Yeah,
And
I always
everything.
said we have a different energy because I knew it. I'm like, you're more earthy, and that's what you're saying with the herbs and all that. And I'm like, ever since I'm a kid, I'm like, I need the glitter too and the sparkle, and like I have that more esoteric energy a little bit. So it.
I think that's a beautiful description.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
your
very-
mom's had more. Paulina, you spent a lot of time in Arcturus, so you have that kind of starseedy, kind of out in the stratosphere kind of energy.
Yeah.
Your mom's had more lives in the Pleiades and Earth, so
Yeah.
so there's a more earthy quality, and
Yeah.
plus she was always connected with plants, so that was, so she has that more planetary connection.
Yeah,
You and I were more starseedy.
I feel connected with
Totally.
Kauai very strong. This was like unbelievable experience.
That's a Mario.
And I feel then this was Lemurian life for me. Then I feel very strong connection with Egypt. I mean, I almost have a dreams that I remember parts of me being there and being actually a healer.
Yeah, you were in Lemuria, Atlantis, and Egypt.
Yeah, I feel this way. It's just something
Yeah,
that's
you were in all three of those civilizations.
moving in my memory, like.
And we're doing work in the astral, right? Because I always thought everybody had dreams like we have, but I guess not, because
Not everybody does.
Yeah,
but I think
I've discovered
starseeds do.
yeah, like I'm like the dreams are, and I need to get back to writing them because I only wrote them for 1 year, and it's incredible looking back. I'm like, oh my god, that's a past life. This is a message. What you said, I had a person come into the dream and she said, there's a beautiful language inside of you. This was like 6 years ago. And then one of the names I wrote down was Elohim, that she told me something about ascended masters. She was like a psychic healer woman, and she was healing past traumas. And yeah, and then
Was
she
it
said,
Mother Mary by any chance?
I wrote in the dream that she had a beautiful face, kind of curly, like bigger hair, light brown. I don't know. She was a psychic, and then she started
gotcha.
healing me in the dream. She told me like what our traumas are. I have a feeling that I was supposed to actually be my mother's twin in this
three
lifetime.
people tell me this. Three shamans.
And that I told her that I was gonna come back as her daughter, that I wasn't born. And then I came to that conclusion myself, and then I opened the dream, and in the dream the psychic goes, tell me about your abortions. And I have had 2 abortions in this lifetime. And then she goes, but what about the one that's self-aborted? And then I was reading that, and I'm like, oh my god, is that what happened, like that she's talking about when I separated from my mother?
Yeah, I was born as a blue baby, and 1963 communist country, they don't tell you anything, They find one baby alive, they trying to,
And then
keep
she
me
said
alive.
that this is before I was doing any light language. She said, oh, there's a beautiful language that lives inside of you. And then she told me something about ascended masters, and the 3 names that she said were Elohim, Gabriel, and Gaia. So it's kind of cool, like reading those things
I
backward.
think it's cool too. This is pretty common, okay? So you have we make decisions in between lives, okay? So remember earlier I said that you were always sisters. You were, so you being mother and daughter wasn't the case most of the time. I think originally you were going to incarnate as your mom's sister, her twin sister, okay, which will be as close as you can get, okay. But I think what happened is somehow, and this happens very often, okay, that you had second thoughts. You weren't quite ready to incarnate. Okay, you're just like, you know what, can't do it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, can't do it, right, I don't want to come in the 1960s because the 60s, believe me, were great, okay, so I think maybe you were thinking, no, so it's kind of like you a lot of times the women will miscarry because their child decides that they're not ready, so the woman will have a miscarry or they'll have an abortion or they'll have something happen because the soul isn't ready, okay?
Yeah.
And so there's no shame around it. It's just you weren't ready, okay? So I think you renegotiated the contract to come in as your mother's daughter.
Yeah.
Because I think you wanted to carry on the work, okay? So whatever work your mom starts, you're going to carry out. And you'll be able to carry it out to fruition, and actually in a better environment than your mom had, okay?
Yeah.
Hello.
Don't leave me!
I'm not leaving yet.
Yeah, no, your mom will be around for a while.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that you knew that being born in the 80s would be a lot easier than being born in the 60s.
Well, she was born 1986. That's the first year when
The waves
they little bit lift the veil from,
86.
That was during the time of the harmonic convergence.
Yeah.
So I think that you picked that year for a reason.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like she was born in that year when finally was a little bit more light coming.
Is there a reason that Poland, like that my mom was born in Poland? Like, what is that about?
It's the genetics.
So it's pretty much
There's
about
Lyra Pleiadian genetics. A lot of Lyra Pleiadian genetics in Poland.
And there was a reason, though. We're not supposed to be in Poland, right?
You weren't supposed to stay in Poland.
Okay, or go back there to live permanently.
No, you're not. Definitely not supposed to go back.
Yeah.
And you can't do the Starseed thing there. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys can't do your work in Poland. You have to do it in the States.
Actually, for some reason, really New Mexico calling me, and it's very very big surprise for me because there is besides two cities really like empty, but the energy there, it's something familiar. I feel like I have a lots of Native Americans kind of life before.
Because you're like an Earth person.
Yeah, and I feel very strong calling for Red Rock Canyon or Valley of Fire or New Mexico, the Earth. It's not even
when you
the
were
city.
describing your connection with the Native American spirit that overcame you, that was the first thing I saw was that you had Native American lives. And a lot of Native Americans claim ancestry to the Pleiades, so it was a good genetic fit. Okay.
Yeah, I feel this way. I feel like I don't look like Native Americans right now, but but it's very funny.
No, you look about as Pleiadian as they come.
You should see me.
You should see her when she was young. She was like ridiculous, like white, blonde hair. Like I got a little more dark.
When I was little.
Like
a
the
ghost.
Pleiadian baby.
Yeah, like a ghost.
It was. But no, unfortunately we have to wrap this up. But it's. I think you guys are on the right track. Okay. As far as the location, I do think out of all the locations we talked about, I think New Mexico seems to be the one that has the highest probability.
I feel
for you guys to create what you want to create there. So,
where do you live, Debbie?
I hope that happens for you guys.
Where
do you live?
I live in Colorado.
Colorado.
I live in the cold place that you guys hate. So.
It's cold here now.
It's cold here now. Look, we're like a cover and a heat.
Oh, it's not cold there compared to here.
No, I know, but it's cold. Believe me.
Yeah, no.
Even in Poland.
I love Colorado though. It's there's so many benefits to being here that the cold is almost worth it. But,
No, I know it's beautiful. The color, I like it, but it's like even living in Poland. I remember we have a travel agents and they have this huge, like a picture of tropical island. I literally robbed myself on this picture. It's like this was, and I come here when I was 20, and I was like, straight to California. I say, how this happened? I'm here. The palm trees and lemon growing in my garden.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing, and you've done so well in California.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's time to move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think,
Debbie.
yeah, I think, Thank you
we
so
don't
much,
want to keep you.
ladies,
I know
and,
that. Yeah.
It was great spending the evening with you guys,
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure we'll see each other
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I'm gonna
we do have
schedule
to-
another session because I definitely want to hear more of my journey. I feel like
there'll
little
be,
time
yeah,
things will
like
come.
I said, I think we barely scratched the surface.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. Next time we're just gonna let you talk because I feel like I kind of like get your flow now. When you like have a reading with someone, you kind of have to understand, and I feel like you're really good when you're just like in your flow because I've listened to some of your readings.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I feel like when people interrupt and then it kind of like throws you in another direction, but I feel like it's like you probably like
Well, usually the guides kind of show me what that person needs.
Yeah.
So it usually ends up better, I think, for the client too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to do the closing prayer because we have to shut down the records. Dorota, it was a pleasure getting to know you. You're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
You two are just magnificent. So you guys need to create your Pleoni someplace. Okay. I would like to thank the Master's teachers and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the Lord of the Akashic Records for their point of view. And I would like to thank the Holy Spirit of Light for all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed, amen. The records are now closed, amen. The records are now closed, amen. Your energy goes with you, my energy stays with me. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
It's
you
been
so much,
wonderful.
Debbie. Have a
Thank you,
beautiful
Debbie.
night.
I feel like you guys are family now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
We are.
yeah. Like you said, I have a good discernment, and I felt like with you, I was like, I need to contact her.
Oh, that's good. No, you do, and I, not because it's me, but I think it's I think we may have even known each other in Lyra. Okay, I mean, because I was in Avalon too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
so
well,
I'm sure we probably knew each other.
See you on this planet or the next planet.
Yeah, we'll see each other in the next place.
If I end up in the New Mexico, you're gonna be invited.
Yeah. Hopefully, we could still stay in
if you guys
touch.
end up in New Mexico, you know I'm going to come visit you.
Oh,
okay?
better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because New Mexico is like almost like my backyard. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not far.
All right, you guys.
Okay,
take care. Have a
excellent.
good night.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very
Have a
much.
beautiful night.
Have a beautiful
Bye-bye.
life.